So now that I've reviewed all the 2016 Super Chases, which one is your favorite and what do you think of them all together? I have to say, 2016 hasn't been the best year for Super Chases, at least in my opinion. I definitely prefer 2015 with all of the circus cars, but nonetheless, we got some nice Super Chases this year, especially with Bud the RV. You cannot go wrong with RVs, but made it with duct tape, and not the best. So let me know what you guys think down below. And if you haven't seen my reviews of the other Super Chases for the year, then you can check out the description below under the related videos section. I have the links to those videos, and now let's dive right into the review of J-Lo-Lee. So the first question I always answer is, where did I get this guy? I got him off Amazon for $12.54, and you might be thinking, wow, that's a pretty specific amount. Well, yeah, it kind of is, and as you guys know, Amazon tends to get most of the mainline releases in stock for a retail price, like their singles are $4, their 2-packs are $8, and as you guys also know, singles are add-on items, meaning that you have to have $25 worth of eligible merchandise in your cart in order to buy that single add-on item. Now, J-Lo-Lee came in stock as an add-on item, $4, of course, for a very, very short amount of time. I believe he was in stock for that price for like a couple hours, and then he shot up to the inflated price of $12.54. And that's the price that, as I said, I got him at. Now, if you guys don't know, there are a lot of little technicalities with Amazon and stuff, and this is one that I haven't really mentioned on my channel before, and that is the inflation. So after a couple hours, maybe days, maybe even a week or so, Amazon will inflate the prices of the mainline cars, deluxes, or planes. They do that with planes as well, to a much higher price. Obviously, with J-Lo-Lee here, he went from $4 to $12 in a couple hours, and they do that with a lot of cars, and it has been a recent thing. It started, like I'd say, in spring of this year and never happened last year, so I don't really know why they're doing it. It's kind of disappointing because if you don't catch that car early on Amazon, then you have to pay the inflated price. However, with J-Lo-Lee here, I'm actually a little, I don't know what to say actually, but it's not a bad price. Obviously, for a Super Chase, only 4,000 are made, and it was prime. I didn't have to have $25 worth of other stuff. It was not an add-on item. So, two benefits of the inflation, but obviously, we want to pay that $4 instead of $12, especially if it's not a Super Chase. So moving on to the package. Now, as you can see, he has the Super Chase emblem there, the Cars Daredevil Garage app logo, a very, very nice, unique background for this character, which obviously is of the LA Speedway, but don't mix him up with being in the actual LA Speedway series. The Super Chase series does not have a number system. And on the back here, we can see another picture of the LA Speedway. This is actually before the race, showing the stands and whatnot. I believe Johnny and Jamie were on this ledge spitting off the side. They aren't in this picture, but if you guys do remember from the movie, they were spitting off the side of the stadium. And if you guys don't know, those were two Final Lap 2010 releases. But getting back to J-Lo-Lee now, the description for him is J-Lo-Lee has always been a die-hard Piston Cup fan, pledging his loyalty to the king since the first time he saw him hit the track. J-Lo-Lee has been to every race that the number 43 has ever entered, proudly wearing his lucky Piston Cup hat, so we can infer that he was at the Motor Speedway of the South race as well. And there is some small text at the bottom there reading, Super Chase vehicles are limited to no more than 4,000 units produced, obviously because they're a Super Chase, so they definitely are pretty hard to find. Now, the only place that people have actually found this car in a store is at the strangest place I can possibly think of. A grocery store that's only in Texas, the state of Texas in the United States. It's called Heb, H-E-B. I have no idea why, but that store looks to be like one of the best places to get cars. First of all, their prices are lower than all retail stores. They sell singles for like $3.47, whereas Target and Walmart sell their singles for around $3.76 or 77 cents. And that goes with deluxes. They have those movie moment singles as well. They've had, I don't even know, I'm pretty sure people have found like circus cabs, circus pickups there as well. So it's just a crazy, amazing store, but exclusive to the state of Texas. Hopefully it shows up at other places as well. Now, the instructions for the Daredevil Garage app are on the back like they have been for pretty much the entire year, with the exception for the first couple cases of the year. And as I've said before, do not recommend this app. And honestly, I don't recommend this website either because it's still on the 2015 line. As you can see, it says you can see the complete diecast collection at www.blah. Well, you can't really see the complete collection for 2016 because they are lazy. As I've said before, Mattel is pretty lazy with updating stuff. And yeah, maybe it will never even switch over to 2016. Maybe it'll go to 2017. Maybe it'll go to something about Cars 3. But that is all for the package. I do like his art. Kind of wish they made it maybe a little bit bigger because he looks very, very small on like this huge open space card, but still a very, very nice picture of him. So I will be right back with this guy opened up. Here he is out of the package, looking pretty nice. As I said earlier in the video, he's not one of my favorite Super Chases, but still a nice one nonetheless. And now let's talk about his appearance in the first Cars movie. I kind of have his appearance set up in the background there. That is pretty much all of the cars that he appeared with. Todd the Pizza Plant Truck, Elvis, Bob Cutlass, Darrell Cartrip, and some cameramen on the right there. However, those are not the specific cameramen that appeared in that scene because Mattel did not release them yet. And so Jay Lowley was over here to the left. Now this was before the race actually started. They're doing the interview phase, all that good stuff. And Jay Lowley was just kind of chilling over there alongside Todd the Pizza Plant Truck. And now I know Mattel likes to dig through the background scenes and pull out a random car to release, but I kind of have to say that this car isn't so random, and if I got to choose a fan for them to make, this one would be kind of on my top list because he's right next to a Pixar icon, Todd the Pizza Plant Truck. He's right there next to him. I feel like that's pretty cool and semi-significant, I guess, so I am pretty happy that they released him. It's a nice one to release, especially because he was right there next to Todd, so that's very, very cool. Now let's get on to the diecast himself, or itself, I should say. Now on eBay from China, you can buy this guy for about $20, but you do risk it coming damaged. The damage that I have seen the most is on his flag because it is kind of like not the best paint, so it kind of peels off rather easily, and that is even displayed there on my own that came right from Amazon in the package. You can see that there's some paint missing right there, so that's a little bit disappointing. The back looks to be good, but there is that little smudge or paint peeled off there right on the front. But the ones on eBay, you might receive one that's completely shredded and torn up. So I do recommend trying to wait out and see if it hits Walmart's Targets. I'm sure it will, because there are 4,000 of these. Mattel's just not going to keep them in their warehouses in China. They want to get them out and sell them. And I'm sure that there will be other places that get them besides this grocery store in Texas. But as you can see, he does have a pretty nice expression. Looks like he's kind of worried. Actually, no, he's happy. Yeah, it looks like he's worried if you just have him on the ground like that, but if you lift him up, he looks happy, so that's nice. His expression from the movie is a little different, but you can't always expect for Mattel to match the expression from the movie to the die-cast exactly, but sometimes they do, and when they do, that's phenomenal. He obviously has this flexible flag right here that goes back and forth that reads "The King" 43, and he has a very, very nice Piston Cup hat on top here as well. Very, very nice. It is kind of like a flexible plastic, so you can move it about some, but I don't recommend moving it like crazy because you might break it off. Now this is, well, technically it's the first time that Mattel has used a Piston Cup accessory on top, but I do already have one that's coming out in the next case. People in Australia have already found this guy, Brad Windmiller. Link to my review of him will be in the description below. So I do want to compare the two. You can see that their piston cups are different sizes and a little bit different color, but for the most part, the color is the same. And their models are completely different there, as you can see. But their license plate style is very, very similar. Obviously different numbers, but the red, white, and blue stripes are there, which is nice, probably because they're both from the same region of California, because they did both appear at the LA Speedway. And I do have a couple other cars to compare J-Lowly here to in a moment. First, I want to show Christina Whelan, who was released last year, because she has a similar flag. However, hers is a little bit stiffer. It's actually like plastic. It's not like this rubbery, so you can move J-Lowly's around a little bit more than Christina's, but they both do have a flag. I kind of wish that I don't know. I like Christina's better because it looks like the paint quality is better. So maybe if they use that style on J-Lo here, it would look a little better. J-Lo. I should probably call him J-Lowly, say the full name, or just call him Lowly. But nonetheless, that's Christina there, another fan. And now let's check out Marty Breakburst here, who is a very, very similar model to J-Lowly here. They look to be basically the same. Marty does have a mouth plate there, which does distinguish her or him, my bad, from J-Lowly there. You can see the crack that separates his main metal body from the mouth plate right there. So very, very nice. There are a couple cars though that are his same model, I believe. Here is Kim Carlins, the co-host of Dan Sklarkenberg. Reviewed him or her, probably a her actually, earlier this year. Now, I don't know, this is a really hard one to tell. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the same. And obviously, you can already tell that I'm going to be disappointed. Their license plates are identical. ML115. That must be like Mattel's favorite number or something, or like their go-to license plate when they're like in the production stage and like the people are like, what should we do for the license plate? We don't know what it actually is. I don't really want to call Pixar up and ask them, so we're just gonna throw in the ML115 license plate. Nobody will notice, right? Nobody, of course not. But collectors notice. And it's getting a little annoying now. I mean, Coriander Whitetrack, who I don't have to show today, also has that license plate. But Coriander's mom, M.A. Brake Drum, has the ML115 license plate there. So, you know, I've expressed my disappointment many, many times before with this this whole situation here. with license plates being identical to other cars' license plates. It just doesn't make sense at all. You cannot have the same license plate as someone else. It just doesn't make any sense. But moving on from that, because I don't like really talking about Mattel's defects and problems within themselves. But getting back to Jay Lowly here, I have to say that name. If you say it too many times, it gets a little difficult to say. But here is the base if you're interested. Decent amount of information, but can't really complain. I like his rims. And it kind of looks like he's hoisted up a little bit. There's quite a bit of space between the actual tires and the fenders there, as you can see. Sorry for the really bright lighting. I don't know what's going on. Here we go. That's a little bit better. But there's quite a bit of a gap there. Whereas with Kim Carlin's, actually there's a pretty big gap with him or her as well, but it's a little bit smaller than Jay Lowly. And I do want to show the prototype MA brake drum that I talk about in my review of Case L. She is the same model as Jay Lowly here as well. I'm sorry guys, I'm getting all these names confused, especially when they're like all these initials, M.A., Jay Lowly, Jay Schuster, J.W. Like, come on, Mattel, can you just throw out the entire name or something? But, oh well. I'm sorry, I'm getting very critical today, but that is the prototype. I will probably have the link to my Case L video in the description below, but that's a lot of links. I believe that brings me up to 5 links. I don't really like going too many, but I'll probably have to for this video. Here's Polly Puddle Jumper. I know she's not the same model as Jay Lowly, but they are rather similar. Another car, the last one, that is the same model as Jay Lowly, is the newly scaled Coriander wide track that will be released in the next case of singles for the year. Already hit Australia in the case with Brad Windor and Darla Vanderson. So that's pretty much all for Jay Lowly here and all of the cars that I compare them to. And yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this video. I do apologize for all my commentary mishaps. I mean, there are hundreds of Cars characters nowadays, so I'm bound to make a mistake here and there. But regardless of that, let me know in the comment section below what 2016 Super Chase is your favorite. Here we have Jay Lowly, made her with duct tape, Bud, who is my personal favorite, and Outback Miles Axelrod on the right here. Now, there is that potential that Outback Miles Axelrod is not a Super Chase because it has not been confirmed, and there's that potential that he has also been canceled, meaning that he won't actually be released. Now, let me just give you guys a quick summary of what has recently happened and what news has came about. So first of all, in July of this year, there was supposed to be a deluxe case, Case F, that included Mater with cone teeth, Craig Faster, the Rusty Monster Truck, and Alexis Wilson, who are the new cars, along with some duplicates as well. That case obviously never came out in July, and recent news has told us that it is canceled. Goodbye, Case F. You are no longer. However, Mattel recently announced a new case that kind of replaces that one called Case J. Now, this is also a deluxe case, and it has very similar contents with the exception of Mater with cone teeth. Mater with cone teeth is not in Case J. So yes, he has been canceled, but if you guys watch my Cars 3 speculation video that I uploaded a couple of weeks ago, then you would know that Mater with cone teeth is actually scheduled to be released in the 2017 Radiator Springs Classic Series. So there is that hope that he will eventually be released because he was canceled in 2010. He's canceled again. So I mean, we really want this Mater with cone teeth. But now you might be wondering, how does that relate to Outback Miles? Well, I originally thought that Outback Miles would be in the twin case of Case F, but Mattel kind of made it seem like Case J is now the last deluxe case of the year. So that means that there won't be a twin case of it, which means that there won't be a 4th super chase for the year, which means that Miles' Axelrod here on the right would be canceled. So it's very possible that that is the case, and if so, I'm really happy that I have him here, because then I would just have a canceled car. I wouldn't have a canceled car, and I'm very sorry for all those people who want this car, but it is possible that he is canceled. But I could be completely wrong. I'm just speculating for like 2 minutes here. I'm sorry, guys. I'll let you guys go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry for not uploading this week. Just got really busy with stuff. You know, that stuff that happens when you're in high school, you know, when you get busy with homework and classes and friends and all that stuff. But I definitely try to make as many videos as I can. I'm kind of thinking, now don't put this in stone or anything, don't quote me on this, but I think I will bring back the schedule for 2017. Probably when the new year flips over midnight that day, I will upload a schedule to the About section of my channel, and we'll get back to the current, or not the current, but the old swing of things, because I liked how that worked. But I just kind of needed this break where I don't upload as frequently. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time, whenever that may be. Bye now.